Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another episode of Joel Cupcake Unedited with me, Joel Cupcake, your boy. How we doing, everybody? Took last week off. There was construction on my apartment. There was just things that didn't line up for my guest. I just wanted to give everybody a nice little break, give myself a break. Sometimes all this shit can be overwhelming with what's going on. And I'm trying to stay busy, and I guess I just got a little too busy last week. Um, yeah. Real quick updates with me, be sure to hit that subscribe button down there on YouTube. A lot of you are tuning in via the podcasting platforms. Thank you so much for listening. This show's a little bit more entertaining when you can watch my dumb shit, but I still appreciate it. So thank you. I am on Twitch. I have like an exclusive live Twitch show that I'm doing the first Saturday of every month called Joel Cupcake's Creative Counter, co-hosted by Andrew Baird from Fallujah. We have a rotating panel of guests. It's awesome. We just did the first one. It was sick. I'm also gaming a few nights a week and Penup's live streaming concerts off of my Twitch channel as well. So you could find me at just twitch.tv/Joel Cupcake. Nice and easy. It's down there in the description below. Anyways, we're back to a guest this episode. That's right. Headsets on. You know what that means. We have a homie. This is somebody I've gotten to know really well over the last couple of years in the music industry. He's, I would like to consider myself a mid-sized artist manager. I'm not a big dog, but I'm not a little dog. This is one of my favorite other like medium-sized managers that I've gotten to know over the last couple of years. We've got the one, the only Mishko from 10 and 8 Management.
What the fuck is up, everyone?
What's up, Nicholas? How we doing, dude?
I'm doing good, my brother. Doing good. Busy day.
Dude, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. I know we're both busy. You're on top of all the other nonsense you do. You're a fucking homeowner and a father. So
yes,
another
one on the way.
Yeah, and you have a second one coming. So I super appreciate you taking the time to be on the show with me, my dude.
Of course, anything for you. You know that.
I'm going to start with a question I know the answer to, but I know a lot of the people listening are going to want to know if it's the truth or not. 10 and 8 Management.
Yes.
You named it that because you have two different size feet, and those are the feet sizes, right?
Yes, I have.
All right. Tight. Always got to get the question everyone wants to know out of the way first.
It's the best icebreaker in the world. I do a lot of conferences, and like I'll see people the next year, and they're like, "Oh fuck!" Like they'll bring their friends, like, "Come here, look, it's this guy I was telling you about," and like they'll be like, "Show them the feet," and like, yeah, it's the best icebreaker in the world, and it's I don't know, it's quirky, it's whatever, something.
Don't you have to buy two pairs of shoes, or can you like custom order?
I used to. I got hookup. So people who have two different size feet, we have what we call soulmates. So like I know a couple guys that are. So I'm a 10 and 8. I know guys that are 10, and we swap shoes. Like we help each other out.
That's fucking smart.
Yeah, it's the greatest thing in the world. Like I
didn't even think about that, dude.
Yeah. Like I got a guy up in Detroit. Like I'll buy shoes, and like especially like during the winter, like I'll buy boots and he'll buy boots, and like we'll just give each other our because we have leftovers, So yep, 10 and 8 Management. That's how it came to be.
That's tight. That whole soulmate thing, that is actually fucking sick. Like,
yeah.
Look at that. It's been 3 minutes and 50 seconds, but I fucking learned something already. I knew having you on here was going to be fucking amazing. All right, let's go back, Mishko. Like I want. Let's go all the way back, like little Mishko, like young Mishko. Like, how did you get into music? Like, start from the fucking beginning. Like,
woo, we're going back. All right,
we're going back.
I would say, shit, junior year of high school. Like, all my friends were in bands and shit. I've never been in a band. I don't play. Okay. I have guitar. I am the most unmusical. Like I'm the business guy. I love the business of music. So anyways, end of high school, shit, real world's coming. Got to go to college. Don't know what to do. I hear some people talking about music might be a career. I'm like, nah, that could be cool. So I start researching it, and believe it or not, so back in the day, before you could like Google internships, I went to the library. and I pulled
Okay.
out music industry books and looked up every.
There's books on that? No, just kidding.
Yeah, back in the day they were. So I pulled up, and then I found a book called A&R by Bill Flanagan. Story about a talent scout finds a band, signs them, they blow up. I'm reading it. I'm like, this is fucking cool. You know, I'm 17,
Yeah.
18 years old. I'm like, this is fun. I actually have the book on my shelf back there because I had to buy a copy. And
I might have to pick that up just because it's
dude,
always interesting to read stuff from our career path. You know what I mean?
oh, dude. So I read that book, and all these music industry books, they all said the same thing. And like, you know, you need to do an internship. You need to do you need to get your chops. So like,
Yeah.
So I get into college, and I go for media communications and business marketing. And a couple years go by, join the live events team at Youngstown State University, doing shows and whatnot. And I go through. So like, I'm towards the end of my college career, and I need an internship. So I go through every CD I own, and I open that motherfucker up, and I look for, in the liner notes, Sony Records, Universal, Epitaph, Hopeless, APCO Records,
Yeah.
I went 400 CDs, and I emailed every single one of those motherfuckers. And so this would be like 2007, and
Okay.
I had a couple interviews with Universal. I had a couple interviews with Sony. Feeling it out because I was in Ohio. I still am, but
Hmm.
at the time, you had to either be in. this. You had to be in L.A., Nashville, or New York.
Yeah.
That's where it was before before Facebook and everything popped off. And so anyway, so the MySpace days. So I put out all these.
The good old days. You mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I put out all my resumes, and I'm getting interviews left and right. And
Yeah.
oh, side story. So little cool thing. One of the internships I did consider was Universal Records wanted me to do marketing for. They couldn't tell me then, but they said there's a phone coming, and it's going to be the smartest phone you have ever seen, and we want to send
Hmm.
coupons on college radio. And I'm like, what do you? And I'm talking to the guy. He's like, I can't tell you, but it's going to be a computer in your pocket. 6 months later, that phone was the iPhone.
That's
And
crazy, dude.
yeah, and like the labels were already, the majors were like already aware of it coming, like preparing for it.
Yeah.
So anyways, I ended up getting an internship at Rockridge Music, and that was 2008, working for Real Big Fish. Believe it or not, one of the very
That's so
first
tight.
bands ever was Psycho Stick. I did the marketing for them. Yeah,
That's sick.
and that's when they're, yeah, and and years later to know DeFonce in the whole
Hmm.
team associated with Psycho Stance,
Yeah.
small Psycho Stick. So anyways, Psycho Stick, Three Doors Down. So anyways, did that first summer. I fell in love with the music business.
Yeah.
But I fucking fell in. We're talking, it was MySpace marketing. Dude, I was 22, and I had 300 record stores as contacts. I was mailing them press stuff. Back in the day, an internship wasn't just posting shit. It was, you called radio. Are they playing stuff? What are people asking for? Is the CD up on the display case?
Yeah.
Dude, I had to fax in sound scans. There was no fucking app. There was none of this. No, you faxed it in a code every Thursday to SoundScan to make sure that shit was done. So I did that for a summer, and then I got back to the grind of the other labels I knew, and I got a job at APCO Records later that year, and I worked there for 4.5 more years, and that's where
Yeah.
I learned the royalties and licensing when our clients were the Rolling Stones, the Who. We did some Bob Seger stuff, and they were one of the largest independent record labels in the world.
Yeah.
They're hundreds of millions of dollars a year. I
Yes.
worked on I had a chance. I worked on Scott Pilgrim versus the World. We did that. We did the Call of Duty games. All the licensing.
Yeah.
Anyways, fast forward. After doing that for 4 or 5 years, I wanted to get back to working with art. I wanted to get back to working with musicians and
Yeah.
bands. So I took on 1, and then 1 led to 3, and then 3 led to 5, and the next
Yeah.
thing I know, I'm, my wife wanted to move back to Ohio. I'm like, I got a chance, so I cashed out a 401k from the nice cushy label job in New York, left that, and been doing 10 management full time 8 years now, and we're on our second
Awesome.
offices. We got 20 clients, and before COVID, we were doing 1,000 shows every 18 months, and
Yeah.
it's we're doing okay, but like it's COVID's made it fucking hard. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Man.
COVID's made it fucking hard for. Yeah, I fucking feel that.
And
So like, what was the push between like doing royalties and stuff at Abco? Like, when were you like, I want to try the management thing? Like, where was the first band you found, were they homies from New York? Was it just a band you thought was good that needed a better push? Like, what really drove that choice for you?
so the first real client I still manage to this day. And
Awesome.
his name's Butch Parnell. He's a country artist. I've toured with him. I've gotten him label deals. I've been working with him. He's been with me since day one. He's the real OG. Anyways,
Awesome.
I found him. I was late going home, and I missed my subway. And in the distance, I heard a country band playing with 300 people surrounding him, and I was blown away. I still am blown away when he performs, and I just fell in love with the music. And after enough buying him lunches and PBRs, he finally let me. He trusted this fucking guy right here to work with him, and then
The PBR, dude, it's the best negotiating tool in our arsenal.
yeah. So yeah, and then it's just one turned into 3, and the next thing I know, I've got labels wanting me to do their royalties on the side, and I've got people licensing questions, and it's a blessing that it goes back to what you and I said we're talking about the other day, is a lot of our peers, they came up through shows, and I came up through learning, kind of like the corporate background, getting to do royalties.
Which is important, because a lot of people, like, I mean, every time you and I talk about royalty stuff, I'm like, fuck, I didn't know that. Like, I'm sure there's still some bands that like I actually need to talk to you about later, where I know that they're short on some money that they should be owed, that they probably don't even know how to collect. So that's crazy. Well, that's awesome, dude. Like, that's so sick. That fucking motorcycles, man. Sorry. Every time I'm doing an episode, it's like that, or the fucking guy shows up with the fucking weed whacker, or fucking something. You know what I mean? So fucking, it's all right. Well, that's tight, dude. Like, I didn't know your full story. I just knew about Abco and some of that stuff. I didn't know your first artist was a country artist. You know what I mean? Because I know you, because you have some artists that dabble in the same world that I dabble in. You know what I mean? So like, that's awesome. And then like, obviously, I know Alex, who works for you, Mr. McGinnis, and like we've all crossed paths at NAMM and some of that stuff. By the way, did you fucking see that they canceled NAMM, dude?
Not happy about it.
What are we gonna do? Like, I need my fucking goddamn fucking whiskey, Coke, and like 3 days of hot tubbing, dude. Like,
I'm not happy. I unfortunately feel that it is the beginning of many cancellations for next year. So
oh yeah, well, especially like you and I both live in places where people don't have their shit together.
Yeah. Again, we're just speculating. Nobody blow it up. No one take it out of proportion.
Nah, nobody will. And if they do, fuck them. Who cares? Whatever, dude. Like, I'm also a promoter, so like me saying something like that, like, it's speculation, but it's also like I have to be honest with like myself and the people that try to come to my shows. Like,
plus, you're allowed to have your own opinions too. That people forget about that.
Oh yes, they fucking do. I hate that. Dude, yeah, fucking A. Well, what's like? I've never been in that upper echelon of the music industry. Like what is something from like the Abco days that like stuck with you, or just like, you know what I mean?
I would say the money.
Like,
I love it. I'll give you an example. So I'm not gonna name names, but I've seen label deals from certain labels where my old job would spend that entire record budget in 1 month on coffee.
Yeah.
So like, it's
Jesus.
yeah, it's to go from, I'm talking doing chargebacks at Walmart and advertise like $100,000 ad campaigns, and then it's kind of annoying when you have to fight for like $400 for Facebook ads,
Yeah.
But we could go into that all day long.
Seriously. 1 second. There we go. Just gotta tell somebody I'm in the middle of something. You know
That's
how
all
it
right.
goes. Always getting hit
Yeah.
up for everything. Oh, it's okay.
Though
It's
I do want
okay.
to tell you, we're gonna watch this. It was cool. One thing that it always stands out when I worked at APCO was I heard
Bowie, come here. Leave it alone.
Spotify months before it came to the United States.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
that was like, yeah, like we had the codes to get on Spotify like 7 months before it got public, which was pretty cool. Yeah.
That is pretty cool. So that was like you kind of like witnessed history happening basically with that.
Yeah.
Like a
Well,
lot
the
of us
reason
say,
why,
like, I remember MySpace or I remember this, but like,
yeah,
I can say I remember the change, like what MySpace did for us, and then like it leaving and how it just nothing's been the same since. You know what
yeah,
I mean? Facebook tries, but it's all about the algorithm and Zuckerberg making fucking money. And you know
yeah,
what I mean? Tom cared about money, but not enough to fucking destroy things for the people who use the platform.
yeah, exactly.
Tom, where are you? We need you, Tom. Tom from MySpace. What were you gonna say? You said you had kind.
Oh no, I was about the Spotify. It coming
Oh
in the
yeah.
early days. They weren't sure how to license it, and how they weren't sure how royalties were gonna, But I
Mm-hmm.
mean, now it's, I guess it's figured out for the most part. So
Well, and then that fucking asshole was like, "Oh, like we'd pay out more if you put out more music." And it's like, dude, like only the top like 5% of your artists release music every 3 years. Like 90% of the people on your platform consistently do singles and albums, and those are the people that are bitching about what you pay.
yeah,
You know, like if you think Metallica putting out a record every 5 years cares what you fucking pay them out, they don't, because it's still a fucking metric ass ton of money.
yeah. It's I didn't get a chance. I saw the headline. I didn't get a chance to read that article. It's, oh
Like that
my
was basically
god.
the summary is like you want to complain that you're not paid enough, but then you only give us you only give your consumers and your distribution platform a new product every 3 to 5 years. Like what the fuck? And it's like,
Yeah, that's
dude, what, like, are you literally must only be talking to like the upper echelon of your clientele if you're that stupid.
How often do you think artists should be releasing music, in your opinion?
I mean, I'm a big fan of the 9 to 10 month album cycle. So like, you push an album for 9 to 10 months and then you get ready to release another record. It doesn't need to be exactly like a year on the dot, but like, roughly the year album cycle. But it also depends on how much the artist is touring. Like, because a lot of bands take the approach where they only tour like 2 big tours a year. So if you're only doing 2 big tours a year, I mean, like, I think every band should do at least 3 full US tours per album cycle, you know, and that's like bare minimum. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So if it takes you 12 months to do 3 full US tours, then okay, your album cycle is going to be probably
Yeah,
14 to 16, you know. But like in a perfect world, you release an album when you're on tour, you tour nonstop for the first 4 months, and then you do like 2 bigger tours after that. Obviously
yeah,
depending on like your situations and
of
hype
course.
and rollouts and connections and your team and your agent and yada yada yada. You know what I mean? But I still think that, like, I'm still fine with 9 to 10 months. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the artists I have that have done that, it's been great. And then you have bands like Acacia Strain who can just keep putting out music basically whenever the fuck they want and it goes well.
Yeah.
You know.
Component. I like after X amount of singles, then roping it all together as an album with new material. I'm a big because
Yeah.
you know how it's like attention span is so short these days. Oh my god.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that next. Like, I don't like the whole typical 2 or 3 songs and then the album comes out thing. You know, like I have a couple of bands that are that have music that they're waiting to release, and some of us we've just been saying like, fuck it, like let's just put out singles for 6 months and then drop the record. And it's funny that I have multiple bands that I'm having that discussion with, and then fucking Acacia Strain just did it. You know, they released what 8 singles and then put out a full length with only 2 more songs on it and charted #1 for I think the first time in their career, maybe. Like, I don't remember if that was their first time, but even for like a metal band, let alone, you know, Acacia Strain's been around for fucking ever now. No offense if any of those guys ever hear this, you know what I mean? But they've been around forever, and like that's so tight. Like the fact that they were just like, we're gonna mix it up and just do singles, and then they did 2 singles at a time, and then they release each one as a vinyl.
Yeah.
And then they fucking dropped the whole album together, and there's only like 2 additional songs on it. Like, I would love that. Like, if a band releases 6 to 8 songs and then drops another 2 to 4, like 10 with a 10 to 12 track record. Like, I think that's a fucking smart ass way to do it.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's funny you mentioned vinyl. It's God, I remember when that was coming back, and God, now cassettes are fully here, I guess. You know.
Oh yeah, and especially in like the hardcore world, like, you know, vintage just always ends up coming back, you know, and I think that's a prime example of that.
It's gonna happen with CDs. You know, it goes around.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the problem now is that like you got people building the iPhone docks in their car. You know what I mean? Like so it's stupid. It'll come back eventually. People like will, you know, when all of us turn fucking 45 or 50 and it's like, oh, I found this booklet of CDs in my attic. You know, all it's gonna take is fucking Cardi B or one of the fucking Kardashians or somebody like that to tweet like, this is so vintage and cool. And then like next thing you know, there's fucking like CD chandeliers and all this fucking like horse shit made from our past. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
God, time flies. Don't even joke about being. I turned 35 in January.
Oh, there you go. There we go. Yeah, I mean, I just turned 34 in May, so I fucking feel it, dude. I'm getting up there. Oh, Earth to Mishko. There we go. You there?
Sorry about that.
No, you're good, dude. You're good. Like I told you, I had a previous guest who recorded his episode outside and his fucking hotspot overheated in the middle of the fucking thing. So I had to just freestyle for like 5 minutes while he reset everything.
Well, I'm glad we are doing this later because where my office is, the next lot of land over that way,
yeah,
they're doing construction. So like it's been rumbling the ground.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we couldn't do the episode last week because they were fucking. There was like the water burst in the apartment next to mine, so they were like, and it was leaking to the apartment below, so they had to come in and like do work in both apartments, rip up flooring and shit. And I was just like, I cannot do anything with all this fucking noise going on.
Yeah, well, we've been planning to have this for a hot minute, but I'm glad we're able to do it now.
We have it. I agree, and yeah, man. Well, like, you know, I feel like a big thing. You know, you're good with royalties and that stuff. Like, that's your fucking niche, bro. Like, we've even talked about like you writing a book or doing like an ebook or something about it because like you have so much fucking knowledge up there. Like, I think a lot of bands don't really realize what they can get paid for in a royalty sense. So like, what's something that you feel like, Alexa, stop listening? She does that, dude. Like, I don't need my lamps turned on right now. Like, she's spinning and talking to me and shit. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Like, what is something that you feel like a lot of bands don't realize or know? Like, what would be your number one advice when it comes to like royalty stuff?
If you're a big touring, like if you tour a lot, my number one would be make sure your ASCAP or your BMI is taken care of because that data has to be entered. I'm working on a client right now, ex-manager didn't enter their royalties, and I'm chasing retroactive 7 years of back
And
live
you
performances.
mean performance royalties, correct?
Yes, yes. So
So for like a smaller band, because I have a lot of bands on my roster that I know probably don't even have BMI accounts. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Because a lot of metal, like smaller metal bands, don't worry about that stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So
not
like,
at all.
if they were not even BMI members and it's never been turned in, like you can still go back and retroactively like chase that down, right? Oh, did I ask a tough question? There we go. You with us, brother?
You there?
Yeah, I'm good.
I think I'm losing you. No, we're good.
Oh, no, we're good. We're good. But so basically, like, bands that have you're frozen. Well, everyone, let's see what happens here. He might come back. He might not. We might have to have a part two.
I
Who
think we're
knows?
back.
Oh, there we go. There we go. So,
It wouldn't be your show without some kind of interruptions.
yep, of course, dude. Of course. Yeah, so oh my god, who the fuck is blowing me up, dude? Jesus Christ. Sorry, 1 second.
No, that's all right. But no, going back to what I was saying is that the first thing is, you know, get your tours in, especially now with COVID going on, dude. It's there's bands missing out on money. Like it adds up.
Yeah. Well, and so what I was trying to ask before you cut out was so like even smaller bands that have toured and played live somewhere, right? As long as they've put out a record on a label, they can go back and claim performance royalties, right?
They can, but they have to contact like their representatives, and they have to make the phone calls, and they have to do some digging.
Yeah. So, but most people don't realize that like even at a smaller level, they can get paid a little bit for playing. You know what I mean? Like most
Yeah.
people don't realize that.
Oh,
And so that's what you're having to do right now for one of your artists, right?
yeah. It's between the royalty. I would say my two specialties are the royalties and the sponsorships. Those are the pretty like the niche things that I've learned from because I consider my career having two halves.
Mm-hmm.
Working for a corporate label and then go own, and
Yeah.
that's how I learned how to do the sponsorships and the royalties. From my APCO days.
Which are your specialties? Yes, I will agree with that. Um, well, word. Well, yeah. So basically, make sure everything's entered. Track your money down. I am not very good at BMI, which is actually some stuff I have to talk to you about later. But that's
Of
not the
course.
point. You know, um, but I started learning it. I had to learn it for rivals a while. Like 2 years ago, and like, you know,
Yeah.
I always encourage bands like, and I want your opinion on this. It's stuff that's still kind of hard for me to understand. You know, and we're always learning as we get older and as we go along in life. But like, I encourage all people, like bands, to have their shit together. To have their shit together, because they need to know what's going on with BMI because they need to know when they're missing out on money, just like you're saying.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like even if they don't want to do it themselves, like if you want to pay your manager to do it, or I mean, I guess some would argue that that's what a manager is there for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's good, but you should still understand what BMI and ASCAP and all that stuff is, because you need to understand not necessarily that you're missing out on money, but why you're missing out on money, right?
Yeah. Because it's you've got your BMI and your ASCAP, which do your live performances, and then
Mm-hmm.
you got your sound exchange, which collects on your master for digital transmissions, and then you got Song Trust, which collects on the publishing side, which so I highly recommend everyone joining Song Trust because that gets you additional royalties. Plus, that helps you join societies for the rest of the world. So it's
Yeah.
as long as you have your BMI or ASCAP, and then Song Trust and Sound Exchange, you're pretty much covered. I mean, there's some neighboring rights companies, but we're talking like the nitty gritty, and some of those, like in Europe, you actually have to send in, like you have to file paper, you have to mail it in. So, but like,
Oh,
yeah, it gets real deep. It does. So, how's my feed? Am I cutting out? I'm getting a little bit of a lag on my end.
no, I think you're fine. I mean, I think you've been good since you readjusted. You know what I mean? I think we're all right.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Um, yeah, man. Well, dude, we've been doing a lot more work over, together the last couple of years. Did we first meet at So What, right? That was where we met the first time, or was it NAM?
Um, God, I don't even remember.
I think it
I
was
think it had to
NAM
be Nam.
3 years ago, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Three, I think it was
Yeah,
3 years ago. Yeah. And then obviously I saw you again at the last NAM I attended
yeah, yeah,
because we had some drinks.
yeah. It was a fun time. Me, you,
It,
Defonce, whole team.
it was dude. The squad, dude. Yeah, I had some of the rest of my pinup team there. You had some of your 10 and 8 team there. A bunch of
Yeah,
your bands. A few of my bands. Last time we did it was like the least amount of bands I've had on the roster come through. But the first 2 years that we did it, we had a lot of our roster there, which was tight.
it's a fun time. I like not just Nam, like any conference is
Yeah,
a fun. I'm a big proponent. Like that's like you want to talk advice for bands. Conferences are underrated.
I
So
agree.
everything from NAM to launch music, all of them. And like I have bands say, well, what is like it's you get out of it what you put in. I've
Yeah,
gotten so much business from conferences. It's not even funny.
yeah,
I I try to do as many as I can because it's like that face to face over social media and phone calls and emails trumps it beats it all. It does.
yeah. I agree. I agree. Like, I was supposed to do what is it? What was that? Millennium with you,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
couldn't because of some health issues with my family, and I was bummed because I really wanted to do that. But then, like,
yeah,
dude, I've been a big fan. Like, I wish the West Coast had more. We don't have a lot. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, it sucks. There's NAM, but that's the learning is not the focus there. You know what I mean? And then like, Saliba does his Vegas Music Summit, which is fucking tight. I went last year and it was done really well. I really liked all the panels and guests he had, and
yeah.
the setup and the flow is super tight as well. Um, but like, there's not a lot like on the West Coast. Like, a lot of that stuff's Midwest, East Coast.
A
I
lot in
did,
Nashville.
yeah, yeah. Well, Nashville's the music capital of the world, as they say.
Cool.
But yeah, man, dude, what's your favorite conference? Like, if anybody watching this gets a takeaway and like goes to check one out, like, what do you think would be the number one you would recommend?
Um, that's a good question. I would have to say NAM because it's sensory overload. You
True.
know, when you walk in, like I'm not a musician and I still have a blast. And plus, you get to meet, you know, I use that time to meet West Coast contacts and stuff like that. But it is sensory overload. Um, you know, you have to put in the legwork, but like I've gotten so much business from there and met so many
Yeah.
reps, and it's what. Not to mention the after parties are great. That's the thing that a lot of people don't even talk about is like the
Yeah.
after party.
Well, like,
Like
yeah, I mean, I feel like one thing that like you or my companies both do well that like some of the other like mid-size artist managers is like endorsements and a lot of that stuff.
yeah,
Like, it's not easy to do. It's like a lot on your relationship. It's like it's equal parts like, oh, excuse me. It's equal parts like the talent of the band, but also the relationship you have. And like NAM really allows you to like hone that in. Like we have great relationships with
yeah,
ESP and Orange, and NAM has just helped those
yeah,
grow.
yeah,
Yeah, Alex fucking rules over there. And then Tony at ESP's the man. Like, we talked to well, we have a new Mesa rep, but Tim was our Mesa rep for a long time. Great dude. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like always took care of our bands that wanted to go that route. You know, um So NAM is, I mean, you get to check out sick new gear, you get to network with people. You will definitely run into like bigger musicians
Yeah,
and stuff, like plenty of friends, plenty of so much networking. Like you said, the first time I went, I
yeah,
was like, holy shit, like it's sensory overload. Like I needed a drink just because of like all the nonsense of like there's all, it's so fucking loud, and then there's like people over here, people over here, people over here. Shit, I need to go. Like I had to run so many places the first 2 days just to like shake hands and talk for 5 minutes and then run away. And I was like, I'm fucking tired, dude.
yeah. It's yeah. Next year would have been my fourth year going, and I got to speak on two panels this past year, which was fun. That was really cool because like after your panels, you get to meet up with people that like attended your panels, and you get to talk to them and
Yeah,
whatnot. But it was cool going as a speaker this past year rather than just an attendee. It was a little bit different. It was cool. I like.
yeah, I would love to do that. I actually have no idea how to even reach out about that.
Well,
But so maybe you
we'll
can
make
help me with that
after.
when we get it when we're
Of
done
course.
here.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Okay, well, like let's rip off the subject matter. Let's swerve. Let's talk about you a little bit. Let's talk
All
about
right.
you. Let's talk
My
about
favorite.
you. What is your favorite thing about working in the music industry to you?
It's different every day. 100%.
That's fair.
Everyone who works in the music business can attest to this. It's you deal with different people, different attitudes, especially as a manager. Like I'm working on like today sync deals, working on some back royalty stuff. I mean, obviously things have slowed because of COVID, but
Jeez, yeah.
I mean, don't even get me started on that. But anyways, yeah, it's different every day, and I love being able to grow with the bands, push the bands, and it's I've got some pretty long relationships with some of my clients.
Awesome. Awesome. I would agree on most of those points actually. So I have no rebuttal for you at all.
Great
Okay,
minds
well
think alike.
I usually have a couple questions that I ask people that are a little bit more garnered towards people who tour, but I know you have toured, so I don't think I need to really change them for you. So let's start with
Okay.
the easy one. You ready for an easy one?
Yeah, don't get it twisted. Before marriage and kids, I did my fair share of touring. So,
Okay. All right. All right. All right. Well, here's an easy one. What's your favorite color?
green.
Excellent. That's my favorite, and that's also the running winner of all the people I've asked. So perfect.
I mean, you know
Um, true. True.
yeah, green.
What is like so what's your favorite food that you can't get in Ohio? Like you can't get at home?
Okay. Um.
Like what food do you miss not being able to get on tour?
Oh. Shit.
You
Okay.
don't
I got to think about
you don't
this
have
one.
to choose you don't have to choose just one. You can give me like a couple if
Uh,
that's easier.
going to Texas. Okay. Texas has got good Tex-Mex, obviously, and then barbecue from Tennessee is good. You know,
Barbecue, man. You just
I
can't beat it.
it, it's not the same. It's not like Memphis barbecue hits different. It just does.
Hmm. I generally prefer Memphis to Kansas City, but that's just me.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, all right, all right. What's your favorite beer or favorite thing to drink? Sorry.
Whiskey.
Yep.
I can't
Well, I
get
mean,
behind.
I'm a
I
tequila guy now, but I was a whiskey
Yeah.
man for many, 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 many years of my life.
I can't get behind White Claw. I'm sorry. Hate me.
It's okay.
I can't. It's
They're
just
just they're it's just so easy to slam them back, and they're low calorie, bro. And I got to worry about that.
I know. I'd rather. I don't know. If it's beer, I like Guinness, but if it's not, I
Oh,
like whiskey.
okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with whiskey. I just lately I'm drinking more tequila. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm a
Um,
tequila. Many fun nights with that.
oh yes, yes. All right, two tough ones right now. Sheets or Wawa?
Sheets.
I knew I loved you.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's all over Ohio. There's no fucking.
yeah,
I lived in New Jersey. It's Sheets all day long. MTO subs. Get the fuck out of here.
I love it. I
Made to
love it.
order. Come on. So I
Okay.
will say,
Ooh,
not to interrupt. I am ashamed.
no.
I have never been to the holy ground of Bucky's.
Oh, dude. Bucky's isn't on the list because that's a whole nother like echelon of stuff like up
I
here, dude.
never had the chance. So
Dude.
I
Well,
missed.
you have to one of these times, dude.
Yeah. I have had their cherished what are they called? Beaver nugs.
The beaver nuggies, dude. Oh my god.
Those are good. I've had people look back for me.
DeFonts actually just sent me a tie-dye Bucky's beer koozie.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And your 10-8 management beer
Yeah,
koozie.
I have. Literally they showed up like a week apart from each other. I was like, I'm stocked, dude. I'm locked and loaded now.
Got one for each hand.
Yep. Oh, you're right. You're right.
There you go.
You're right. Okay. In and out or Whataburger?
What a burger.
All right. All
Yeah,
right.
I don't. Yeah, what a burger. I just In and Out is just. It's not bad. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's is one of those things where like when you hear about something and then you hear about it, and you hear about it, and it's like it's good, but like you just people fucking throw it in you. They're like, oh my god, yeah, what a
Dude,
burger.
that's how I am with music. Like if everyone's like, check this band out, check this band out, check this band out, and then like I listen to it and it's
Yeah.
not like over the moon, like this is album of the year. I'm like, this sucks. Like this was way
Yeah.
overhyped.
Now we're not saying In and Out sucks, but yeah, it's just like you try it and it's just like,
Yeah.
you know.
No, hey. I don't agree with you, but I can understand where you're coming from. You know, I eat both, so I'm not. I'm a chubby guy. I don't discriminate.
Yeah, I know. Same here, dude. Well, I'm trying to cut back on the burgers. So
I
myself.
know. I know. I'm with it, dude. I'm with you on that. Okay, so this is the in-depth question,
Of
Mish.
course. All
Okay, you
right.
ready?
Yeah.
Okay, now being in the music industry and being someone, as you know, everything we say is critiqued under a microscope. I know you feel that way, especially sometimes. So,
Of course.
this question I ask every single guest on the show. This question. So, like, and then also, like with me, I'm a promoter as well as a manager, but I'm still a regular person. So, like when I'm running a show, I call that pinup Joel. You know what I mean? Like that's pinup Joel that you're dealing with, and
Yeah.
then like I'm not as fun as I am if you see me at a party or at my house or we're out at a beer garden or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
so there's some things that as a professional or as a business person, you know you not it's not a facade, but like you behave a certain way. Is there
Yeah.
something about you, like a characteristic or a personality trait or like a hobby you have that you wish more people knew about you that like they don't already know?
That's a good question. Um, and I think it is gotten. I think people are so easy to judge with posts or social
Hmm.
media. Um,
They
yeah,
are. It
yeah.
sucks.
Like I'm one of. Yeah, dude. It's sad. It really is. Because
Hmm.
I'm the type of person I don't judge someone until I meet them face to face.
Which
And
is how it should be.
yeah, and I don't um like like even social media friends. Like I try to meet everyone on Facebook friends with social media. But as far as I'm okay, so as far as like things that people knew, like I'm one of the biggest outdoorsmen you'll ever meet. I love camping, hiking, fishing, hunting, like all that. And
Yeah.
Um, I'm huge into gardening and just the outdoors in general. And recently just got into old trucks. So I just bought an old truck. So
Oh shit. Okay.
yeah. So it's just, yeah, I think that's the thing is like, because most of my, so like, I don't have my own Instagram. It's all, I just do 10 and 8 managements. And like, sometimes people like, like we both love what we do, but
Yeah.
it's, it's like what you said, you're still a person. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I try to be the same person on social media. I try to, I'm in the phone on like, I think the one thing that annoys me is like you'll see people, they try to act like tough guys on social media, and then you meet them and they're like so timid. And
Oh yeah, they're so timid, or they're very like business polite all the time, and you're like,
yeah,
what happened to the fucking
it's
smartass that I'm used to interacting with on the internet?
yeah, it's just like, they're not a troll in real life, or they're not, it's yeah, it's social media has put up a shield amongst a lot of people.
Oh
But
yeah,
myself, um yeah, just I'm an outdoors person. I live on Lake Erie. I love it. I'm trying to buy a boat as well too. um if I could afford it, I'd get a jet ski. Because have you ever had a sad day on a jet ski? No.
no,
So, but yeah, I mean, I just want to work in music, live my life, push my bands, have my second kid, just
yeah,
be be me.
yeah. That's good, dude. I like that. I like that. Well, you said, oh man, that was that answer. I really, you're just such a nice guy, man. I love that answer.
Thank you.
And I can't ever disrespect or disagree with someone who's got like the strong, like it's all about the family mentality. I love it, dude. I love it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm a big, I was taught day one from an old school music guy. So like, it's okay to pass on an opportunity to help somebody, because it
Okay.
might help you down. It might not. You know, there's enough business out there for everyone to eat. This whole, yes, of course, I want my bands to get the tours, and I want my
Yeah.
bands to get the sync deals. But like the whole, you can tell like who's me, 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 me,
Hmm.
me. It's all about me. And it's just like at the end of it, it's just like, get the fuck over yourself. Like,
Yeah.
people at the end of the day, it's about, people, it's about results. And people, like, you develop a personality and you develop a reputation. Like, it gets around quick. Like, it's um like, it's in the music. And I always tell people, the music business is smaller than what people think it is. It's way
Hmm.
smaller, and everyone knows each other.
Yeah.
And but yeah, as far as like, I try not to judge people until I meet them. And I like to joke as much as the next guy. But it's, there's joking, and then there's like just being deliberately trying to be a dick to someone.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I agree completely. It's insane, dude. Um, what did you? I think you said you might have a question or two for me.
Yes, I do. I got a couple. I got questions for days.
Uh oh. Uh oh. Well, I don't know how many we can do, but let's start fire. Let's see where we get. Give me your first one.
What do you like better, being a manager or a promoter?
Um, that's a multi-layered question.
I know.
Overall, oh man, being a promoter is the most thankless job in the music industry, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Um, and that's hard for me because I do it for. I don't do the aspect of me being a promoter is because like I care about the scene here in California,
Of
and I
course.
care about live music and everybody getting a chance to play and be heard, and people have something to
Yeah.
do and an outlet, because music saved my life when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Um, so like it's just with all the politics and like even the people that come to your shows, how they can fucking be with you and stuff like that is hard for me.
Yeah.
Um, it's like I get more satisfaction out of being a promoter, but
Yeah.
it's more rewarding to be an artist manager, especially like when you find an artist like that you take from they're a local band and you get them somewhere, and like every good thing
Yeah.
that happens is like a fucking positive, is a plus, and it makes
Yeah.
you feel so good because there's only so many people that can eat at once, as like you were saying earlier. You know what I mean? So like when you're
Yeah.
able to get something done for one of your artists, it's like, fuck, dude, it's so just like, fuck yes, dude, it's so rewarding, and like, God, dude, so fuck. I mean, if I had to stop being one because of the pandemic and go back, and I would stop being a manager and be a promoter. So I guess I like the promoter thing more at the end of the day. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah, it does. I got another question. I've actually asked this question to a
Ooh.
few different people. So I'm doing like my own study here. So
Oh, okay, okay.
I'm a Midwest guy.
Yes.
I'm from the Midwest. You being a West Coast guy, um, I'm not going to tell you my answer because I want to hear your answer. But being from the West Coast and having your fair share of traveling and dealing with all
Yeah.
the people who walk life in music, do you notice certain characteristics and maybe work ethics between people like in the Midwest, South region of the country, New York, LA people, Texas? Like, do you notice
Mm.
different?
Well, I think the overlying theme is that everyone's clicky, and I think that that's a
Yeah,
hindrance on the music industry. I
yeah,
think that needs to stop. I think you know the West Coast people. How do I put this? So like the people like from the Midwest, it's really theirs are the doors that are the easiest to kick down. Like it's kind of like, oh, like so and so can introduce you and you pass it along, and those people are a lot more like, a lot
yeah,
more involved. Like the West
yeah,
Coast people. I mean, I'm gonna wrap myself out here. Like we're a partying bunch. You know what I mean? So like if you party with a lot of the West Coast industry people, like that gets you in the door better.
yeah,
Like the take sometimes I've noticed a lot of like I hang out with a lot of people from the industry, and like we don't always talk business. Sometimes we try to avoid it. Like the casualness will get you a lot farther with West Coast people than I think it will with East Coast people.
yeah,
Like East Coast people, it's very business. If you're talking about Florida, I don't know, because everybody that lives in Florida is fucking batshit crazy, as far as I'm concerned. So like, I'm not even going to comment on that. Like, I have friends there, I have family there, and I love them all. But like, just like, holy shit, dude! Like the scenes there are wild. The
yeah,
drama they have to go through politically. The fucking some of the laws they have in the state that aren't okay. Dealing with fucking hurricanes every year. Like, dude, what is going on, man? Um, I would definitely say that like that. I mean, that's hard for me because without trying to like say a bunch of personal shit because like I exist in a
yeah,
little
yeah,
bubble because like where
yeah,
I live, like the way California is broken down, like for a long time, if you weren't in LA or you weren't from Sacramento, a part of like Eric Rushing's team, you didn't
yeah,
fucking matter. Like there was
yeah,
no industry. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And now
yeah,
there's like we've spread out, we're everywhere, we're established. You got Hard Times shows, which was formerly Bane shows. Got a couple
yeah,
of you got other promoters all over the Bay. We're all trying to piece off stuff while still existing in the shadow of Numbskull Productions, Live Nation and Golden
yeah,
Voice. You know what I mean? So it's like it's not fucking easy. Like I I also would, from a personal experience, I would say people appreciate worth ethic a little more on the West Coast.
yeah,
Like when I tell people my track record and they're new and they're from here, I kind of seem to get like a little bit more of like a mutual respect than I do when people from the East Coast, when I'm like, yeah, I've been doing this 15 years, people on the East Coast, I feel as big generalization, so don't be offended whoever hears this, that it's a lot more of like, well, where's the money? Well, how much
yeah,
money do you make? And it's like, A, I just met you, I'm not gonna tell you that. B, that's not what it's about. You know what I mean? It's like what have you achieved? Like that's how I am with both jobs, with both companies. It's like I let the work I do speak for itself.
Yeah,
So
results.
yeah, so like, I mean, I guess that didn't really answer your question because I don't really know.
No, well, you did touch a point on a big thing that I personally been trying to break down is definitely the circles and the clicks. I the last few years I've gotten to know a lot more of the circles and whatnot, and
Hmm.
uh, I did an industry party back in December, which we kind of broke down a lot of the door
Oh
strategy.
yeah, yeah, we talked about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a cool party with Alt Press, and but yeah, as far as the clicks things, I think I don't know, maybe it's just me. It's not as bad as it once was, but it was there were certain things it was harder to knock down than they are now.
Yeah, fair,
So I'm trying to think
fair.
if there's any other questions. I don't want to take up your podcast.
No, it's okay. I love the interactiveness and like stuff like this. You know what I mean? Um, I guess I'll have one final thing I want to ask you. I've been doing more of the live stream concert stuff. You know what I mean? I know you
Yeah.
were a big praiser of what Under Oath just did. And
Hmm.
some of that stuff. Like, how do you feel about that transition? I mean, there was that Looney Tooney article yesterday about like Live Nation's pushing for like ripping out the parking lots and everything, and like you do drive up concerts,
If you can afford it, you know.
right? So, like, what do you
And
think about
I
like the state of things, and like what do you think is the best alternative for now? You know what I mean?
I think as manager, as a label promoter, like we all want the best thing for bands. We want live events to come back, and we're all kind of thinking the same ideas. Here's the main thing. Okay, that article you just mentioned said Live Nation ripping out. Like, I ain't got the fucking money to rip out parking lots. Do you? Like, do you got like? It's logistics. Like Randy Nichols and his whole team with Under Oath. Like, not every band is going to be able to pull that off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that was a very, you know, but I will say this as far as the live streaming aspect is, it's, I think it's a new, I mean, live shows have been around for, online for a long time,
Oh yeah.
and it's
People
just,
are just actually paying attention now. You know what I mean?
well, they have to, like I'm
Fair.
kicking around some ideas, talked about ideas. Um, I don't know. I just don't. I think it's a temporary fix. I do think things will go back to normal, but like, when have you ever said, "Oh, I cannot wait to live stream this Like, live shows are always going to be the live streaming show. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's. I think it's a temporary adjustment to our
Yeah.
current situation. That's um, yeah, they're starting to do like live streams at drive-ins. They're starting to do,
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
know, vertical concerts. I don't know. It's if you can crack the code and do something temporarily to help your artist, go for it.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's the best answer I can give on that.
No, yeah, I get it. It's a tough question because it's like, do you want to jump down the rabbit hole of like this is never going back to normal? You know what I mean? Like, it's a tough question.
Yeah.
It's tough.
I mean, think of
It's
the
tough.
last show you put on before COVID.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, let's do this. When was last, think of the last show you had of like 500 people, 600 people last.
Yeah. We
Okay.
did that. We did that terror show right before this all started. Literally like a week before everything blew up. We did terror, and the show sold out at like over 400 people.
Okay. How the fuck are you going to do that with cars?
No, I get it. I think that that's fucking
Yeah.
stupid. I am not agreeing with the car thing. Like,
Yeah.
I think the live stream thing works for now.
Yeah.
That um I think that the big issue for me, and like you and I already talked about this on the phone, is that like my main concern with it is like everyone is suffering. Everyone,
Mhm.
not just the artists. So like You know, like those Under Oath tickets were like what, $45?
Something like that. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
You know, like everything I'm doing for free, and that's not because I'm better than anybody, and I know I could be making money, and I'm basically choosing not to, but that's because everybody is suffering. So I'd rather give them some sort of reprieve. You know what I mean? Then again, not my brain is not wired like anyone else's. I'm kind of a psychopath. I'm aware, but yeah, like I mean, that's really my only complaint about a lot of this stuff is like. I understand like why you only do a certain number of spots so you don't have latency issues or lag or whatever, you know. I think a lot of that. Excuse me. I think a lot of that is smart, but yeah, I don't know.
Only time will tell. Just right now,
Yep.
we're doing everything we can to keep busy, pivoting, and just hoping for the best and preparing for the worst. But we've always done that. That's
Yep.
that's the music business in general.
Yep. You right. You are fucking right. All right. I think that's good. I'll definitely want you back for like another episode. I had some shit come up that I need to go handle actually, so we're gonna wrap this up. Okay. Thanks for joining me. Tell all these people watching and listening where they can find the company because you don't do social media yourself except for Facebook. Where can they find you? Hit me with it.
10and8management.com, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all 10and8management.com. Verified everywhere. Check us out. Love my bands. It's all about the bands and not me. I'm just the guy behind the curtain.
I love that. I love that you even said it like that, dude. Damn, you got check marks everywhere, bro? I don't even have that, dude. I'm just
Something
messing with
like
you.
that. I know you are. So
I would love them, but who cares anymore?
I'm just the guy behind the check mark, or behind the curtain.
I feel it. All right, everybody, this is my boy, the Mishko.
Appreciate
Right
you,
here.
brother.
Thanks for listening to us chit chat. Mishko, thanks for joining me for the chit chat. Most importantly, my main dude. This is going to go up online basically like right now as soon as we're done. I just got to download it and then upload it. Let's fucking party, dude.
Sounds good, brother.
I know we'll catch up soon. Everybody, this has been another episode of Joel Cupcake Unedited. Hit that fucking subscribe button down there. Thanks to all of you downloading the podcast episodes. I appreciate it. Nicholas, my fucking dude, thank you again so much for being my guest. Everybody check out 10 and 8 Management, all their artists, everything they're doing, all their hubbubs, all their shenanigans. If you need advice on certain things, Mishka is one of the people I go to for advice, and I don't say that out loud very often. So hit him up. He's a good dude to work with. Thanks, everybody. Catch you on the flip side.
Thanks so much.